Hey there, welcome back. Once again, it is time for the golden age of DC Comics, 365 days, where I take this beloved hardcover coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends. It has been surfing my coffee table ever since, and it has been a great source of conversation about comic books. I want to recreate those comic book conversations that we would have in the comic book shop. I love those, and if you love comic books as much as I do, you are tuned in to the right place at the right time. As always, I like to start the show off with a general description of the book. This is a 2004 Abrhams Press hardcover coffee table book. It is written and curated by Chip Kidd, Geoff Spear, and Les Daniels. There's a link in the description. You can get your own copy through Amazon. Last time I checked, it was about under $8 US and US American. So get your own copy. It makes a great gift. I know. And I am also filled with gratitude and blessings that you are tuned in right now. One thing I make a point on the show is to remind people. Escapism is essential. It's essential for your sanity, for your good vibe. And one thing that modern fiction and pop culture is so filled with is activism. Activism is really needed because there are things in the world that need taken care of. But does it need to be an active ingredient in everything? Especially our TV shows and our comic books and our sports. And I, for one, do not like being lectured at every single turn. I don't believe that comic books are a platform for progressive ideals. Comic books are a place that we escape this world's woes and worries. If just for a few moments, we could be spirited away to another place where we can be heroes just for one day, just for a few minutes, but we can have fantastic adventures, fantasy, fiction, space aliens, robots, superheroes, pirates, romance, race cars, motorcycle gangs, whatever you want. But leave these problems behind of the world just for a few minutes. Flex your imagination. You know, escapism is just very, very important to everyone. We all need it. We all need a respite from the worries of this world. So don't let anyone push you around and bully you into thinking that activism needs to be in everything. And, can you get your politics out of my book, please? Yeah, we all know that quote, don't we? But let's get to it. I am going to crack this book open. We are going to turn to today's date. We're going to look at some comic book art, then read the blurb, and then we're going to talk about comic books, because we talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. We are. The ages of comic books. We're also going to touch upon the ages a little later on, too. But the golden age of DC Comics runs from 1938 with the premiere of Action Comics #1, first appearance of Superman. And that goes until 1955. And we'll save the rest for the end of the show. But let's do it. Let's open up this book and see what... Oh, gee. we got today. It's fumetti. Yes, the Italian word fumetto. The plural is fumetti. And I'm a quarter Italian, so I don't care if you think I'm talking with my hands. I always talk with my hands. I gesticulate wildly. It is June the 9th. It's the adventures of Fuzzy. Yes, fumetti, also known as photo comics, where actual photographs are put into the comic book formula. And let's read this blurb, okay? This is from Movie Comics #2, May of 1939. A riddle wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in a mystery. Fuzzy defies human explanation. Half child, half artwork. What does his present portend? Should a juvenile chicken thief be tried as an adult? What does it all mean? Is it really a happy ending when Fuzi finds an egg in his pants? Youth want to know. Let's look at this again. We're going to break down the 4 panels. And see, it's 3,000 miles to Hollywood. And Fuzi's hungry. And he's got a hat and he's got an umbrella. So he goes into some farmer's chicken coop and he steals the chicken. You can see the chicken's in his back pocket. But guess what? Wah, 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 wah. He gets busted by the farmer who's holding a rifle. What does this mean for our titular hero? Oh my goodness. Who cares? I mean, I don't think this one... I've never heard of this one. Exactly. Have you? But yeah, photo comics were big for a little while. They would, be based on movies, take, stills from the movies and put them into it was called a photo novel format. And that is fumetti. Yeah, huh? Captivating material. Maybe Fuzi got captivated too for trying to steal that chicken. But yeah, the ages of comic books. It's something that I love to talk about. A couple of things I love to talk about. We have a few themes in the show. One of them is obviously stereotypes, racist or otherwise. They exist all over the Golden Age. We have to address it. It's there. We will go through them together. And I'll use my best judgment when bringing stuff up. I mean, I'm not here to upset anyone. We're just reading a book and we're talking about comic books. And this is part and parcel with American history, publication history, and comic book history. Another theme I like to do is I like to compare the cover price of, say, a 1941 issue of Action Comics with a 10-cent cover price. Well, that 10 cents today would be $2.04. I literally use the CPI inflation calculator at the it's at the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, and so I think that's a really fair standard. I use Comicron, which is a really reputable comic book data site, for the median cover prices as well. So if a 10-cent comic that had 60 pages in advertisements in 1941 costs $2.04 today, the cover price of a 20 to 22 page comic book, same material, same subject matter, has advertisements, is usually $3.99. That's a median cover price. They sometimes go for $4.99 and $5.99, but those have higher page counts and better kind of better quality pages and better quality covers as well. And another thing that I've been fascinated with are the ages of comic books, because we're talking about the golden age of DC Comics. The golden age runs from 1938 to 1955. What are the other ages? This follows the ancient Greek Hesiod, and he categorized 5 different ages of antiquity: the Golden Age, the Silver Age, the Bronze Age, the Age of Heroes, which included the heroes of Troy in the Iliad and the Odyssey, and then the age he was writing from, the Iron Age. So I did some research. I really did. I'm into this. I got the latest edition of the Overstreet Price Guide. This is the 51st edition. It's for this year. This is where you get your comic book prices from. This is a standard. All right. If I'm wrong, put it in the comments. If I'm wrong for using Overstreet, I don't think so. Why would I be? Overstreet has 2 definitions of the ages. I'll get to the smaller one first. It's from Comic Link, which is a reputable online site that sells comic books. Been around, I think, since 1996. And this information was on page 157 to 159 of the Overstreet Price Guide, the 51st. And they have 4 ages. The Golden Age from 1933 to 1955. The Silver Age from 1956 to 1969. The Bronze Age from 1970 to 1979. And a Modern Age from 1980 until the present, now, today. Overstreet, according to their glossary at the back of the book, have several ages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ages. Let's go through them real quick. There was the pioneer age when printing presses first began. It goes from the 1500s to 1828 specifically. Then comes the Victorian age from 1828 until 1883. Then the Platinum age from 1883 until 1938. Then comes the Golden Age with the release of Action Comics #1 and the arrival of Superman. So the Golden Age, they say, goes from 1938 until 1945. Next comes the Atom Age, ATOM, because now the atom bomb, and we are now in the Atom Age. They claim the Atom Age runs from 1946 until 1956. The Silver Age, that begins in 1956 to 1970. In 1955 also came the Comics Code Authority seal. So something like this familiar icon. Yeah, approved by the Comic Code Authority. Yeah, look, yeah, Larry Hama signed that for me. I got this as a kid in the mail with my Marvel subscription. I had such a great time gushing at Larry Hama at that con I went to in April. That's so fun. But yeah, the Silver Age from 1956 until 1970. The Bronze Age, I'm a Bronze Age baby, goes from 1970 until 1984. Now this is where I found out about the Copper Age. The Copper Age, they claim, goes from 1984 until 1992, which would be the advent of Image Comics, and then Vertigo was going to come out in 1993. It was a real change in comic books. And then the Modern Age goes from 1992 until now. Okay, now I have Sully's synthesis and suggestion. And this is where I want to say I would love to have some conversations with other comic book fans, comic book store owners, comic book creators. I am putting the APB out there. I want to talk to you. Come on my show. I will come on your show. Let's talk about this. So Sully says the Golden Age goes from 1938 until 1955. The Silver Age from 1956 until 1970. The Bronze Age from 1970 until 1985. And here's where I start to elaborate and use my nodal. Okay, the Copper Age, which I accept, goes from 1985 until 2000. That's 15 years. That's as long as the Silver Age and the Bronze Age. Why not 15 years? That's a great standard. It really is. So I will end the Copper Age at 2000, and I will start the next age at 2000 or 2001, and I call it the Millennium Age, and that goes from 2000 to 2015. And why? Well, I feel like because in 2015 there was a lot of cultural shifts, especially in fiction and in storytelling and in narrative and in publishing. There was a purposeful change. They called it to move the needle. And this was after the Me Too movement and after the election of the 45th president of the United States. There was a lot of outrage and a lot of call for change and the push for progressive ideas. And that's when comics started to change a bit too, when it stopped being all about escapism and then began to be used as a platform for spreading a message and a platform for activism. And that's where I always have my little caveat about never forget about escapism. It's there for you to leave this world's problems behind. I don't want to be reminded about the world's problems every time I pick up Superman or Green Lantern or Spider-Man. It's boring. It's who wants to be lectured all the time? I mean, it's quite off-putting, and it's against but this insistence upon, oh no, the politics have always been in comic books. No, not like that. Not the way you want to assert this. And then I suggest this. A current age begins in 2015 until now. And this current age will go until 2030, if my 15-year theory, holds up. But I call this the current age And it's not modern age. I call it the postmodern age. Postmodernism is a late 1960s French ideology that is it's multifaceted, and it seems to be a big part and parcel in academic life, and it comes from the colleges that I'm blue collar, so I kind of see this tonal shift and this ideological shift towards postmodernism. And there are some good things about it, but everything about it has to have some kind of oppressor. I really wish the postmodernists could sell their message and ideas without the constant need to have an oppressor. Again, it's boring. It's lecture. It's always a lecture, and it's always we're trying to educate you. I did something really kind of obnoxious about that. And that's how I feel about the ages of comic books. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. We have been talking about the golden age of DC Comics, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. We'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. Turn on the notifications. I would love to earn your subscription. I make daily content. I talk about cooking. I talk about spirituality, pop culture, comic books. I take cute videos of bunnies early in the morning, having their breakfast, chewing on grass. It's so cute. There's bird songs. The birds, I wake up at 3:30 in the morning. I'm out of the house by 5. It's a beautiful time of day. It really is. So I have these unintentional nature moments, and I share them with you. So please tune in, like, subscribe, put on the notifications, and thank you so very much for tuning in today. God bless you. Namaste. Good luck. We will see you in the funny pages. Tune in tomorrow, all right? Thank you so much. Cheers. Bye-bye.